What? What's up? What's happening? What's happening, chat? Whoa! Hey, look at that, look at that. That's right, at about 4 o'clock this morning, I don't know, sometime around there, we hit the big 50K. We did it. We did it, yay, and it was all thanks to you guys. Hell yeah. Woo! Hey, that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. Thanks to all of you. Thanks all you guys out there, you crazy characters in the chat. I see you congratulating. Thanks so much. It really is thanks to all of you guys. You guys got to give yourselves a pat on the back too. It's really cool. I didn't know it. Oh, hey, by the way, look at that. See, I made a yap box for us. Remember the last time I got on here and yapped, and I was like, man, yeah, we really can't read the words too well. I was like, hey, how about we give ourselves a little spot that we could do some yapping, and then it makes it a little bit easier to read for next time. You know, hey, that's pretty cool. So. And look, I made it myself, you can tell, because it's not very good, but, I just made a square in Photoshop and exported it. But, yeah, woo, thanks, guys, oh, this is awesome, this is so cool. Now we need 100K by the end of the year and 500K by the time the DK movie drops. Woo! Yeah. I don't know if I mean, hey, I like to be optimistic. I'm not going to hold my breath about hitting 100K before the end of the year. I mean, that would be awesome. That would be so cool. Don't get me wrong. But, hey, you know, if it happens, it happens. If not, well, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I guess something I could throw out there, you know, and just mention. You guys may have seen it. I was a lucky little guy. Well, I'm a big guy. I was a lucky big guy. I got the chance to play Donkey Kong Bananza. The demo. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, if you guys have any questions about that, you know, feel free to dump them in the chat. I'll try to read what I can. Super chats will guarantee that I read out your questions and comments and all that kind of stuff. Super chats just make it easier, you know, to like, it's like, okay, boom, there's a thing. All right, I'll read that. You know what I mean? It's all consuming. I'll actually set a little bit of a goal for us today too, just cause, you know, I like to have it. It's kind of nice. It's cool that YouTube has that as a built-in feature. I'll set it for 2 hours. Let me see. Ask your questions. That's what I'm typing right now. Okay. Boom. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. So yeah, I don't know how much I'll be able to answer to tell you guys the truth about the demo, because, I mean, realistically, I only got about, what, like, maybe 20, 25 minutes total out of it. Like, that's pretty much what it was. Oh, excuse me, sorry. I'm just dying a little bit, but it's okay. Okay, well, oh, yeah. So, like, I mean, aside from the demo as well, this is also just kind of like a, I don't know, like a general Q&A kind of thing, too, just for hitting that big 50K. So, you know, if you guys have any questions in general, just throw them out there, and I'll try to read what I can. So, let me start here with where my chat is at right now. Questions: do you think King K. Rool will have transformation forms similar to DK? Assuming that K. Rool is in the game, I think there's a really good chance that he will, because, I mean, you know, having a big, or possibly the big final boss, mimicking some of the movements and powers that you see from the main character in, like, these Nintendo games, that's... Yeah, that's a fairly common thing. Bowser, you know, used the hat in Odyssey just like Mario did, so that's a thing. Hey, Joe Bean! $5 super chat, thank you, my friend. Not quite Bananza related, but I think they're going to use the DK redesign for NS2... Oh, Switch 2 Mario Party Jamboree. DK hasn't shown up in any footage yet. Oh. Oh, that's an interesting point. Yeah, that's, huh. I don't know. That does make you wonder. Because, like, I know it's kind of supposed to just be more of, like, an expansion, right? To Jamboree. So, I'm not so sure. Like, I don't know. It'd be interesting. Oh. I thought maybe putting the super chats over top of the chat would be a cool thing. But I'm seeing it's actually kind of hard to read. So, here, let me move it over to the left. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they would go to the extent to, like, make a really big, like, just design change like that to the game with an update. But maybe they would. I don't know. That's interesting, though. That's a good point, though. That's a good point. Thank you for the super chat. Toyville Adventures, $2 super chat. Why is chat not appearing on screen for a while? That's because I think I don't have it set to low latency. I could have set it to low latency, and I forgot. And I can't do it now because I've already begun the stream, so that's my bad, sorry. It's going to be a couple seconds behind. That's on me. Yeah, I have been setting it to low latency on these just, like, chat rambly streams here recently, these yap streams. But, yeah, today I forgot. Because I just copied the settings from the last stream, and it was set to low, or, I don't know, regular latency or whatever, so. Have you seen 2 Crispy's video about him theorizing about the last 2 Bananza transformations? And, if it's true, if Ellie the Elephant will be, the Elephant Elder. Yeah, I did see his video on that, actually. Skips, I think Skips sent it my way. And, it's a really fun theory, like, and I enjoyed listening to it. It's a fun idea. I'm not so sure I'm convinced of it, though. Mostly from, like, a gameplay perspective is how I'm thinking about it, because I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, okay, here, let me start off by saying, like, a giraffe Bananza, to me, doesn't sound like the most interesting idea mechanically. But, with that said, I mean, we have flying ostriches, super fast zebras, like, so who knows, maybe they'll have something with the giraffe to offer, you know, like, maybe he'll spin his neck around really fast, like Tails from Sonic, you know, and just fly through the air. Well, then that's kind of redundant, because we already have a flying one, you know what I mean? I don't know. And then the elephant one, I'm not so sure about either. I've been kind of, like, okay, because, like, here's my big thing. I really think, and I know, here we go again. Here I go again on my whole croc shtick. It's just my thing, I guess. That's just what we do around here, okay? We yap about crocs. I seriously think there's going to be, like, a Kremling Bananza form. I feel like it makes sense. You know, we have so many croc-related things in the game. It just makes sense. Just makes sense that there would be, like, a Kremling Bananza. We have a Kong Bananza. I don't know. I'm just saying. So I'm not so sure that I don't think I'm totally on board with this theory, but I think it's a lot of fun. It was a fun one, you know. It's been so much fun seeing all kinds of theories and chatter about Donkey Kong lately. Yeah, it's been fun. Hey, Done Nintendo, I see you there in the chat. I just saw your video earlier. My DK crew, they were checking it out, and they linked it in our chat, and I saw it. Very cool, very fun video. You bring up some very good points. Check out Done Nintendo's video if you guys are looking for some fun theorization about Donkey Kong Bananza. Hey, sorry, I just missed 2 super chats. Let me read those. Mr. Gamerbot, $5 super chat, thank you. First off, congrats on 50K, thanks so much. My question is, do you think we'll be able to change the controls and buttons when it comes out? Supposedly you can. Apparently that's already a thing. So, yeah, I think you should be set on that. I know a lot of people, I saw a lot of people in my comments talking about how, like, oh man, the A button to jump, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get used to that. And I'm like, hey, you can change it, don't worry. I'm going to try to just play with the standard layout that they're giving us, because I see what they're doing with it, you know. B is punch, that punches down, Y punches to the side, X punches up, you know, and I'm like, okay, I can get used to that. I can coordinate punch buttons to the buttons on the controller, and then A just being or jump. You know, that's fine. Like I can deal with that. So that, me personally, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to get used to it. I already started to get pretty used to it with my time with the demo, and like I think it'll be fine. But anyway, yeah, thanks for the super chat. Badass Boy, $2 super chat. Congrats on 50K, Al. Excited for more. Hey, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. All right, now I'm scrolling back down to where the chat's currently at. Sorry, I probably missed a whole bunch of messages. I'll try. I'm gonna try to kind of skim through here. There's an elephant layer confirmed. I could be okay. Listen, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's like officially an elephant layer yet. I know that there were like some fractones that look like they have elephant ears. I assume that's what you're referring to. But like I saw somebody point out that, you know, these fractones, they don't have trunks, which is, you know, arguably the most identifiable feature of an elephant. So I'm not so sure that that's what that is, but who knows? Hey, who knows? Maybe it is. I don't know. But yeah, yeah, and like I see what you're saying there too, Nintendo, about the giraffe Bananza. Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement. Like I don't really know like what they could do for a giraffe, unless they really just get like wacky with it, you know, and they just do something that you don't expect. Like I said, I mean, we have a flying ostrich power up. It's not exactly something that ostriches do. Could you imagine these giant 8-foot birds flying around? Yeah, that would just be awful. Hey, KB, $2 super chat. Did DK have any unique idle animations? That's a really good question. I wish I had an answer for you. I didn't stand still long enough to find out. I'm assuming he probably does, though. That's honestly something, that's a really good question. And honestly, that's something that somebody should check on. Because, yeah, most people are going to get in there and try to see as much and do as much as they can, I would imagine, myself included. And totally missed any semblance of an idle animation because of it. So, sorry I don't have a better answer for you, KB, but thanks for the super chat. Lamb Clipper, $2 super chat. I can't believe you got to meet the Donkey Kongle. Oh yeah, I did. He's a super cool guy, you know. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, what if the giraffe's neck functions like the snake from Snake Pass and lets you cool it around objects? Yeah, I mean, hey, it's possible. Like, it's just like it's like a mix of a snake and a giraffe or something. I don't know. That's interesting idea. That could be something. Uncle Al, will you bring cups for the barbecue coming up? You forgot last time, and it was awkward around the lemonade cooler. Congrats for 50K. Been here since Video Game Planet. Hey, thanks, TJ Bond. I'll try to remember to bring the barbecue cups. The barbecue cups. I'm gonna barbecue the cups first, and I'll bring them in. I'm getting creative, okay? This is gonna be a wacky barbecue. We'll put some lemonade in there and see how it tastes. Ooh, lemonade barbecue. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe I should just keep it regular. You know, let's not. Maybe we shouldn't go down that route. A crocodile Bananza is so thematically perfect. It's an opportunity they absolutely wouldn't miss. I'm with you there too. I mean, the Bananza transformations so far in this game, you know, they're based off of African like safari animals, and crocodiles. Yeah, they fit right on in there. They fit the mold. My pal Professor Chops pointed out. And like this may not have any relation to Bananza whatsoever, but it was an interesting observation at the least. There's a new like safari themed like area in the new Mario Kart World game, you know. I forget what the name of the course is, something Oasis, I think. And like each of Donkey Kong Bananza's like but what are they called? Bananza forms are represented there so far. What was it? I'm not doing a good job of explaining this, I don't think. The ostrich is in there. Zebras are in there. Elephant? I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, to be honest. I think I lost the plot. There's animals in there, and they are also in Bananza, I guess. That was... sorry to ruin the excitement around that idea. Maybe you get the idea of what I'm talking about. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, there's Crocs. There are Crocs in Mario Kart World, and they're not represented in the game yet. Like, okay. I know, like, again, I look like a crazy madman out here with my tinfoil hat, but crocodiles. Crocodiles! In like the African safaris and stuff, all the animal layers are based off of those kinds of animals in Bananza. It makes sense. It just makes sense to have a crocodile themed layer. If Nintendo decided to like totally axe the Kremlings for good and never include them ever again, then it still would make sense to include like a new crocodile species or something, because it just fits. It just fits. I don't think they would do that. I don't think that's a thing they're gonna do. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Anyway, hey, backsack and guac. Dude, I love guac. I just ate a whole thing of it last night. I have a problem. Thank you for the £5 super chat. Congrats on 50K. You should get a DK tattoo now. If you don't have one already, praise be to Crockwatch. Thanks for keeping the hope and cope alive. Well, hey, thanks so much. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thanks for the kind words. Thanks for the 50K, y'all, everybody out there. I might pass on the tattoo part, just because I don't know. On one hand, like, a tattoo would be cool. I get like hyper focused on specific things, you know, for a certain amount of time, and but then I move on from them. You know, there have been so many things in the past where it's like, hey, you know, if I got a tattoo of this, would I be sick of it in a couple of years? And like, more often than not, the answer is yes. Like Overwatch, you know? Dude, I loved Overwatch for years. And then it got bad. Only earlier this year have I started to pick it up again. But I thought, man, it'd be kind of cool to maybe get like the little Overwatch logo tattooed somewhere. But now I would probably be regretting it if I did, you know what I mean? Not to say that I'll ever get tired of Donkey Kong. Very unlikely. But, you know. Yeah. Take it from someone who's had laser removal. That's the right call if you feel that way. Yeah, that's what my mom has done. I pretty much took that idea from her. I'm like, okay, let's not do something I'm gonna regret. Okay. Oh man, thanks for the super chat. Will we see the surface of DK Earth? I think it's possible. The big sort of running idea right now is that, you know, like, maybe they'll do something at the end of Bananza like they did at the end of Odyssey, where they, like, recreate DK Island for you to go explore or something like that. I think that would be really cool. I would be totally on board for that. And, like, I think, like, this is definitely cope, okay? Probably more unlikely than likely, but it would be so cool if they brought in a bunch of the Kongs that aren't going to be a part of the story of this game, and just have them hanging out on DK Island. It'll give you a reason to run around and explore the island, and find all the Kongs. You know, you could find all the Kongs that aren't going to be, like, a part of the main story of the game. Maybe you bump into them, do, like, a little mini-game, or maybe you just get rewarded with a Banandium gem for finding them. Like, hey, you know, you bump into Chunky. He's like, whoa, hey, Donkey, man, I haven't seen you in a long time, you know, oh, here, have a little gem, yeah, I found this little thing while I was floating in the water, I don't know, just float it on up, there you go, you know, I don't know, you know what I'm saying. Oh, that would be cool, though. That would be cool. But Chunky's dead, yeah, well, the Banandium gems, they have quite the power, quite the mysterious power to them, do they not? Maybe it can resurrect corpses. It can resurrect the lives of Kongs who've been missing for 25 plus years. you be doing Donkey Kong Abridged 3? That's the golden question right there, I guess. The way I've been putting it is I would never say never about it, but right now that's not my primary focus. I'm just trying to work on building up my game channel over here. I'm having so much fun over here. And like the shit post like meme stuff over there, it's real like iffy ground to try and navigate just due to like copyright stuff, you know. It was a big part of why I got burnt out doing that kind of content, because it was like, you know, every upload or every other upload, I'm like fighting, you know, the copyright system, and like it just wasn't feasible. I'd spend more time dealing with that shit than like working on the next thing, you know what I mean? So, but you know, I would never say never. You know, if I get this channel to a point where I'm like comfortable, or you know, and it's getting there. Hey, we just hit 50K. That's really awesome. You know, it's working out. But if I get to a bigger place, you know, it's possible I could revisit my roots at some point. Again, would never say never. But yeah, oh, 2 more super chats. Let's read them. Adriano Ippolito. $2 super chat. Thank you. Sorry if I butchered that. Does Poppy Kong remind anyone else of Bayonetta? Yeah, I can kind of see it. She actually reminds me a lot. It's funny, like, when I saw Poppy Kong, I thought so much of Candy Kong. But then I look back at, like, the designs they used during, like, the Payon era, and it's like, well, she doesn't really look like that. But if they redesigned Candy Kong for the modern day, I would imagine her sharing, especially, like, a lot of the same facial sort of features as Poppy Kong. That's when that's, like, I think that would be a great way to bring Candy Kong back. They can kind of still have, like, a, this is going to be a weird string of words, like a sexy monkey character. Without, like, you know, leaning super heavily into the, like, horniness that, the Rare era was all about. Because that's not really Nintendo's angle these days, so. But yeah, thanks for the super chat. Land Clipper. $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Congrats on reaching 50K in the Horde, Al. I hope no rascally crocs come and steal it from you. Yeah, let's hope not. Let's hope not. We just got here, you know? I don't want to lose it. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. I just want to throw this out there, too. I don't know how you guys feel about these streams where I just get on here and yap, but I love it because I don't have to split my focus between a game and the chat. I could just, like, read what you guys are saying and interact with you, and I just have a ton of fun with it. So I just want to thank you guys for that. It's fun. We always have, like, a fun little crowd for these types of things. Let's see. Do you think we'll ever get to see the other Kongs return in Bananza? Yep, that's what I'm hoping. I'm definitely hoping for that. J-Dog! What's up, J-Dog? Poppy's proportions look more ape-like than Candy. Yeah, I can agree with that. I guess, like, I'm talking more about, like, her facial structure, I guess. I instantly thought of, like, Candy with her. I don't know. Yeah, Candy is an awesome character. She's a blank slate, could be used for anything, could run a coffee shop. Yeah, honestly, for real. It's funny, like, a lot of the extended Kong cast kind of feel that way, you know, but Nintendo just doesn't utilize them for whatever reason. I would love to see a character like Swanky Kong make a return. I'm always talking about Swanky out here. He never even really had that big of a presence throughout any of the DK games or anything like that, but I love his theme. I love his theme. He's a fun character. Here, give me one sec. I forgot I took off my pop filter from my mic. I gotta, like, screw it back on. I have a really janky-ass pop filter. It's not very good. I just need to, like, get a cover or something. There we go. Okay, perfect. Just in case I'm like all over the mic. Swanky was in the movie and he died, yeah. I guess, you know, hey, if anybody is canonically dead, it's Swanky, okay? Chunky Kong was alive in the movie. He was actually in the movie and alive, so just throwing it out there, you know, for all you guys talking about Chunky being dead. Let's look at the facts here. Uncle Al is Poppy Kong confirmed? What? What? No, nah, you. Imagine if Rinky? That's an interesting one. Wrinkly Kong's ghost was in Bananza. I know, I feel like Nintendo just let her ghost evaporate. She's just no longer a thing. That's just not a thing that happens anymore. She's gone. Here, give me one sec. Let me scroll up here a sec. Okay. Scrolling back down to where we were. Wrinkly Kong Banana Bandit confirmed? Yeah, wouldn't that be something? Like Cranky Kong's trying to track down the bandit, and he actually reunites with his dead wife. What a lovely send-off that would be, wouldn't it? Do you think we'll see the return of the popular but very controversial Breaking Kong? Breaking Kong. I mean, Cranston already would do the voice for the Banana Meth Empire. Yeah. Now that is something I'd like to see. A banana showing up in a whole ass. What are they called? Hazmat suit. Yeah, there we go. Hazmat Kong. Although I guess that doesn't really fit the naming scheme, does it? I'm trying to think of, like, a crystal-related thing that could fit for him. I don't know. I'm not good enough at this. Hey, Al, congrats on 50K. What's your ranking on every DKC final boss? 1, 2, 3, 64, because why not? Return Tropical Freeze solely from a gameplay perspective. Here, let me keep an eye on your comment here. I'll keep that handy. I'll answer that in a moment. I just want to get to the super chat before it disappears and I forget. Oh, or maybe not. Harry Masha Productions. I didn't even get to read it, but it says it's retracted. So, well, thank you for the $2 super chat. Hey, Al, congrats on 50K. What's your rank in every... Yeah, okay, so every one of those. From, like... most favorite to least favorite. Actually, you know, to be honest, like, it probably is pretty close to just that order that you put them in. 1 is probably my favorite, just because I'm really heavily biased towards Gangplank Galleon. I love the Gangplank Galleon theme. DKC 2 is just better, like, a better final boss on, like, a mechanical level. There's just more going on. But the music's also really good on that one too. Then I guess I probably like 64's final boss a little more than 3 because there's a lot more going on. It's a whole Olympic marathon pretty much. 3's is just kind of whatever. It's okay. There's not really anything special about it, you know. And then I don't know. Returns, Tropical Freeze. I guess Tropical Freeze's final boss is better than Returns. Because it's just like the whole head and hands thing with the tikis, and that's just kind of, you know, it's so played out. It's such a played out thing. But yeah, so that's my order, I would say, I guess. Hopefully that came through fine. Harry Mason, again, hey, $2 super chat, thank you. What if Mario was revealed to be Pauline Jr.'s dad? Ooh. Probably not. I don't think they're gonna ever do that. I don't think Nintendo wants people thinking about Mario having sex. So that's just that's my take on it. Ayo, DK64 final boss is epic. Yeah, it really is. It's a whole thing. 3 final bosses confusing and anticlimax. Yeah, it really is. Man, let me tell you, after playing through 3, like, the rest of 3, the second half of it the other night on stream, like, I have a whole different outlook on that game than I used to. I mean, I used to think it was, like, up there. I was like, you know, wow, why do people feel this way about it? I don't know what it was. Like, I think it came to the NSO back in, like, 2020. So that was, like, 5 years ago whenever I last did a whole 100% playthrough of it. And I really liked it at the time. I was like, wow, I have like a whole new appreciation for this game. And then this recent playthrough just totally, like, I had a complete 180 on it. Okay, maybe not like a total 180, but like, my opinion of it has definitely lowered significantly. I still think it's a good game, I will say. Donkey Kong Country 3, you know. I like it a lot. Just not nearly as much as I thought I did. That's all. So, the Snowman boss didn't win you over? I don't know, man. Yeah, bleak. It was starting to look a little bleak at that point forward. I was like, man, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. I would probably put it towards the bottom of my list of, like, the favorite Donkey Kong Country games now at this point, though. Like, I used to put it, like, pretty close to the top, but it's probably at the bottom of the country list for me now, to be honest. And, like, that's not to, again, like, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, God, this game, it just fucking sucks. It fucking reeks. Although you might have thought that was the case. You might think that would be the case if you guys were here for my stream the other night, because, man, I was, like, tearing into it. I was not happy. But that was just frustration in the moment. It was mostly just like, oh, I want to get this over with. I want to get this stream done, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, it's okay. Anyway, though, the Great Poseidon, $2 super chat, thank you. What if Mirio, yeah. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's, Mirio, there we go, I guess. Sure. Thanks for the super chat. Bag of beans. £2. Hey, how was the music in the demo? Oh, man, I'm glad you asked. Okay. So, really, like, there was only music from, here, one sec. Gemty, 99 cents, super chat, thank you. There was really only music from the, like, Lagoon layer. I didn't really notice any in Ingot Isle, but the music that was in Lagoon layer is fantastic. Excuse me, fantastic. It sounds so good. And I really can't wait to hear the music for the rest of this game. I think it's going to be phenomenal, which, honestly, you probably could have guessed that without even playing the demo or hearing any of it. Like, Nintendo usually does a pretty darn good job with their soundtracks, and it would be a shame if they let that slide for a new Donkey Kong game, you know, but it doesn't seem like they are. It sounds like it's going to be pretty good, so, yeah, thanks for the super chat. The final world in DKC3 is so terrible. It's just a normal-looking world with a random castle at the end. It's super lame, yeah. Well, not only, like, aesthetically is it just kind of meh, but, like, the levels themselves suck, too. Like, I didn't realize how much they suck! Ah, man, I was not having a good time playing through those. I was like, oh, It was, yeah. There was the one level, I think, it was the Ellie level, where you have to, like, run through and keep the bird with you the whole time to make sure that you get through it, and, or, you know, because, I don't know, you get something at the end. Maybe it's the DK coin, I forget. But there's a bonus barrel that you get for making it to the end, but you only get to try it once. So if you mess it up, you have to do the whole level over again. Do the whole run again, and it's an annoying level as it is. I started to get pretty good at it towards the end just because I replayed it so much. But then the rocket barrel level too, where you have to like perfectly navigate your way to the top of the mountain. I'm not crazy about that either. I could sit here and gripe about Donkey Kong Country 3 and make it sound like I hate that game, but I really don't. I feel like, I don't know why, I always feel like I have to, like, re-emphasize, like, dude, just because I'm bitching about it doesn't mean I don't like it. There's just things about it I don't like, you know what I mean? So anyway, Gemty, $1.99, thank you. What if Donkey Kong's name was Donkey Dong? Thoughts? Well, you know, maybe that's one of his Bananza transformations. He gets gives himself a giant dong. The whole thing about DK is transformations, so maybe he just, I don't know. He's feeling tired of his donkey schlong. Gives himself a donkey dong. How did we get here? Oh yeah, super chat. Thank you. Thanks, for that. Jacob Sam, $2 super chat, random and off topic, but are you a Pikmin fan? I like Pikmin. I don't know if I would consider myself like the biggest fan. I had two on the GameCube as a kid, and I remembered liking that one quite a bit. I did try to play through 1 and 2 before Pikmin 4 came out, and I didn't get super far into it, because I don't know, maybe, I don't know if this is going to be sacrilege to fans of Pikmin. I'm sorry if it is. I don't think I'm super crazy about the first 2 games. They just kind of feel, I don't know, I don't know. But Pikmin 3, I played through that a couple years ago when that came to Switch, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, I guess, and I loved it. I really liked that game a lot. It was really good. And then Pikmin 4, I also played through just about all of it. I got really close to the end. Or, like, you know, to, like, totally 100%ing it. I'm pretty sure I was in the final area of the game. And, I don't know, I just didn't end up finishing it for some reason. So, I did pick it up again and start to play it again on my Switch before the Switch 2 came out. But I didn't get super far. I want to go back to it, but I'm kind of just hoping and waiting to see if maybe they'll do a performance patch upgrade, because the lower frame rate is pretty noticeable to me, and it would be really nice to get, like, a performance boost. If that doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen, and I'll probably get back into it eventually. I've been bouncing between a bunch of games recently. I've been playing, I started playing through Odyssey again, just because, like, Donkey Kong's got me in the Nintendo-y platformer kind of mood, so I've been playing a bunch of Odyssey and having a blast replaying that. I haven't played through this game the whole way since probably 2017, so it's been kind of fun to go in and refresh myself with it. It's been a great time. I've been playing through Luigi's Mansion 3 as well. I'm getting, like, pretty close to the end of that game, and that's been a lot of fun. So, but yeah, Pikmin. I like Pikmin. Pikmin's cool. Mostly Pikmin 3 and 4. Those ones are definitely my favorite of the bunch. Pikmin 1 and 2, I actually don't really have much of an opinion on them, because I never finished them whenever I was playing through them again, so, at the very least, I like 3 and 4. But yeah, thanks for the super chat. KB, sorry, I didn't miss you. I saw you there. $10 super chat. You think there'll be a retro skin in Bananza, like what Odyssey did? Yeah, I'm hoping. That would be cool. I've seen a lot of people saying, like, hey, it'd be cool if they did a DK64 skin, and realistically, that probably is the more realistic option. Excuse me, sorry. And, like, as cool as that would be, I think it would be so cool if they did, like, a Silicon Graphics, like, rendered-looking Donkey Kong. They probably won't do that. That's probably the least likely scenario. But I think that would be cool as shit. That'd be really cool. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But, yeah, hey, thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate you. I see you here quite often. I really appreciate all your super chats. Harry Mason Productions, $2 super chat. What if DK had a Yoshi Bonanza? I guess that'd be interesting. Maybe you could eat rocks. That'd be Donkey Kong's new thing with that power. He gets to eat rocks. Do a little flutter jump. Can you imagine? Thanks for the super chat. Lixin Lee XD, $2 super chat. Cranky Kong would be a great playable character in Bananza. Yeah, dude, I mean, I would love to see the other Kongs have some sort of playable, like, I don't know, something in this game. I know it's not gonna happen. It's probably not gonna happen at all. But I just think, I had thought it would be really cool if, like, one of those side-scrolling platformer challenge levels just, like, let you swap to Diddy and Dixie or something like that, you know? Like, do a total throwback to Donkey Kong Country 2. I feel like it would be less work than, like, making them playable in a big 3D space, you know? But probably not going to happen, but that's okay. Honestly, this is more of, like, a reintroduction of the Donkey Kong brand to the general public in general, from the sounds of it, you know? Or from the looks of it, I mean. And it's just combining all the different eras into one. They really wanted to put an emphasis on Donkey Kong and Pauline for this. You know, the true, like, ground zero for the entire Donkey Kong franchise. And I think that's cool. I'm totally down for that. But, you know, of course, there's tons of country elements, too, which is also very, very welcomed and appreciated. So, cool stuff. Will there be another Crockwatch video? If there's something to talk about, you know, I've seen a lot of people being like, hey, make more Crockwatch. And it's like, I mean, I would love to. I would love to have more Crockwatch stuff to talk about, but there's not really much to talk about right now. You know, I think there's a good chance, there's a really solid chance that the next Crockwatch will probably just end up being the final Crockwatch. That's gonna be, if we, it's gonna be the one that lets us know if we are getting K. Rool or if we aren't, you know? That's probably what it will be, if I had to guess, so. Land Clipper! $5 Super Chat, thank you, my friend. Oh, hey, we hit the Super Chat goal, too. Hell yeah, awesome, thank you, guys. I will lose my shit if the reward for 100% in Bananza is a playable K. Rool, like how Metal Sonic was the reward for 100% in Sonic Adventure 1. I've had similar thoughts myself. Do you know how insane that would be to get to run around as K. Rool and break shit up? I would be all for it, man. I would be all for it, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I won't hold my breath, but I would also lose my shit. And just, oh, man. Man... I don't need to say this to you guys. You guys already know. But, man, I really want King K. Rool to be in this game. I just want to know that he's safe, you know? I want to know that there's, a decent chance Nintendo will continue to use him for the future, you know? This feels like the last chance. And, it's not necessarily. You know, just because he doesn't make it into this game, if he doesn't, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean he's gone for good. But it's just that it does kind of feel like, okay, well, but if he's not in this, maybe he won't be back, you know? It's kind of, the state of K. Rool is kind of up in the air, so it's got a lot of people like myself wondering, like, what's going on? Does he have a future, you know? Bag of beans! £5 Super Chat, thank you. In Mario Kart World, there's the Rallygator ATV. In Dutch, it's called the Crocodile. Coincidence? I think not! I saw something about that related to the Kremlings earlier today. Apparently, in German, the Crockoids in Bananza, their names begin with a K. It seems like... And it's the same way in Japan, too, supposedly. So it's kind of just like something here in the States that starts with a C. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that. Somebody... Oh, I think it was Don't Mind Joe, our Journey to the West theorist. he brought up earlier, and now this is kind of conspiratory territory, and this is what he mentioned, too. But it's an interesting idea, to say the least, that, like, maybe they just changed the name for, like, public demos and stuff, you know? Tinfoil hat wearing and that kind of stuff. Because, obviously, if it began with a K, it would be too obvious. We would all be like, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's... Yep. Those are Kremlings. K. Rool's back, you know what I mean? So, here, give me 1 sec, fellas. Let me... Uh-oh. Okay, I thought my browser was freezing for a second. I'm gonna set up just another chat goal, because why not? You know? Like, while we're here and yapping. Like I said, I do this pretty much every stream. If we hit a goal, then I just, like, throw another one out. If we already hit the one, I'm not stressing. I'm not stressing about hitting the next one, you know? I appreciate it. I appreciate anything you guys have to offer. But it's cool that we hit the one. So, the second one's there if you guys are feeling generous. I appreciate you all. Snap Sling Peavine! Hello, my friend. $5 Super Chat. I've seen you around a good bit. I appreciate you. K. Rool might be a similar case to DDD in Forgotten Land. We didn't see him in some of the initial trailers for that game. K. Rool might be similar. That's how I'm feeling, too. It does feel like if he is in the game, I mean, like, I guess, obviously, at this point, we're almost 2 weeks away from the game. It does seem like Nintendo is holding him close to their chest. That's absolutely what's going on. So, I don't know. I don't know. I was gonna like start my whole spiel again, but you guys have heard it all before. Maybe he'll be there, maybe he won't. I really hope he is. It feels likely that he could be. Because like here's something too. Here's something I wanted to throw out there. There's a bunch of enemy types in Bananza. You know, but crocodiles, the crocoids, are the most prominent, and they're the only enemy types that have multiple variations. I think there's like 4 different types of crocoids that are in the game so far. There's like the standard one that you see with like the gray and like the girders and stuff that you have to break through. There's one that's like red and has like spikes all over it. There's a blue one. There's just like a red rock dirt looking one. You can climb on top of it and grab chunks out of it. So I don't know. Again, I know you guys have heard it all before. I'm like a broken record at this point, but I'm just saying, you know, there's a ton of them. Feels, I don't know. We'll see. Snap Sling P-Vine, thank you for the $5 super chat. I don't know if I said that. I probably did. I have a good habit of repeating myself a whole bunch, so. Here, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna sip some coffee here for a sec. Sippy, sippy. Okay. Oh, hey, will the Pizza Tower come back after Bananza in vids? It's possible. I could definitely do some stuff with Pizza Tower. I mean, I love me some Pizza Tower. Pizza Tower's a very fun game. Big inspiration for the channel theme, that's for sure. Have you seen Donkey Kong Bananza Business by Countess Caro yet? It's a pretty funny video, and it has a nostalgic art style that looks similar to shows like Cow and Chicken. I have not seen that. I'll have to check that out. Uncle Al, what if the elders are related to the secret rooms and work in DKC? I don't know. It's possible. Anything is possible. It's really crazy because like Nintendo is holding so much to their chest about this game. It's like we know so much, but we also know so very little, it feels like, you know? It's like they've shown us a bunch, but we don't know really how anything connects or how anything works. Oh, I see why the chat box was... Okay, I like moved it over to the left a little bit, and okay, now there we go. Okay, much better. Yeah. So there's still a whole bunch that we don't know, and we probably won't find out until it releases at this point, unless, you know, there's a rumored July Nintendo Direct. Maybe they'll do a Direct. Also, why aren't these super chats for some reason aren't even like counting towards the goal, and I don't know why. I do have it set to the lowest one. But I appreciate it regardless, guys. Sorry, I don't know why it's doing that. That's on YouTube's end. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Bunch left to see. Harry Mason Production, $2 super chat. What if DK had a lion bonanza with a roar attack? I don't know. That could be kind of cool. My sneaking suspicion is that there's going to be a Kremling bonanza. That's kind of what I'm thinking. It's probably going to be at least one of the final forms. And then, like, I've been back and forth about an underwater Bananza form. Because, like, there's not, like, a ton of instances that we've seen in this game where there's, like, underwater stuff. Maybe there's a lot more that they haven't shown us yet. I don't know. But, I've just kind of felt like, I feel like having a super hyper situational Bananza form like that would be kind of a waste. But I think it was Nintendude in the chat there, done Nintendude. who pointed out that there are underwater things to collect. So maybe there is an underwater Bananza. I think it would be cool as fuck if it was a swordfish Bananza. 'Cause poor Ungard, man, he's just getting left in the dust. Like, man, he used to be such a staple part of, Rare's Donkey Kong games, and feels like Nintendo just doesn't want anything to do with them. But I love Ungard, so. Oh, yeah, alright, Generic Rust! $5 super chat! There was a preview event for Bananza. Apparently the press is allowed to talk about it on July 1st, so we're probably going to get a lot of new footage tomorrow. I did see and hear about that. I'm curious, by the way, I guess I can ask you guys. There's enough of us here, maybe one of you knows. So, like, by the press getting a hold of this game and getting previews, is this like, are they getting a hold of the full game to give their thoughts and impressions and footage for? Is that what that is? Or are they just getting, like, a very curated snippet of the game to play, like everybody has been? Because, like, I'm just curious, like, how much potentially, like, new stuff we may see come out tomorrow. Because tomorrow's July 1st, right? No, oh, man. That's crazy, dude. This summer's almost halfway over already. I feel like we haven't even gotten it started. Think that's how that's going to work. You think it's curated? Most likely, yep, limitations. Okay, so we might not actually be getting, like, a ton of new stuff tomorrow. Maybe there will still be, like, some little snippets we can glean here and there. But, yeah, I will go into it with the mindset, yeah, we're probably not going to see a whole lot. Trust me, I have spent the last couple of months, like, glued to Donkey Kong Bananza footage, so I feel like I have seen just so much of what this game has to offer already, you know. I'm just like, I don't know, I can't imagine they're gonna come out with like some massive revelations tomorrow. It's probably just gonna be like, you know, journalists coming out and saying like, this game is fun, this game is great, you guys should get it if you like Donkey Kong. That's the end. Bag of beans! Bag of beans with a £5 super chat, thank you! There'll be a Pauline Bananza, and Donkey Kong will sing the most beautiful ballad of all time. Yep, they can bring back Richard Yearwood from the Donkey Kong Country cartoon, and he can sing. Actually, no, it was a different guy. He was the voice of Donkey Kong, but there was a different guy for the songs, I think. So, maybe they could do that. Congrats on 50K, thank you! Hey, thanks to all you guys. It's super cool. Super cool that we got to hit that big milestone number before Bananza. You know, at the beginning of this month, I wasn't sure it was gonna happen. I was like, oh, we still have like thousands of subscribers to go until we get to that magical number. Magical, mythical number, and then here we are. This is the last day of June, and we've hit it. Like, in the span of a month, like, we went from, I don't know, 5,000, 6,000 subscribers needed to now we're there, so that's really awesome, really crazy. Thanks so much, guys. Turbo Pikachu, $2 super chat. Frame rate dips aside, any thoughts on resolution? Yeah, oh, here, one sec. Thanks, Bag of Beans for the super chat, and thank you, Turbo Pikachu. I don't know if I said it. Yeah, the frame rate dips. That was like literally the first thing I noticed when playing the demo, and it could just be a demo thing. It wouldn't entirely surprise me if it carries over to the final game, though. But it wasn't anything egregious. It was just like very specific instances where it seemed like a lot of particle effects were going on. It was like chugging just a little bit. But then in other places where there were a lot of particles and stuff, it wasn't. But yeah, as far as the resolution, I mean, like, oh man, dude, it looks so crisp. You have no idea, man. Like, the footage that I filmed, or, well, I didn't film, my wife filmed for me, she was holding the phone. My phone can't do it justice, you know? You just gotta see it for yourself. It looks so crisp, it looks so good. Like, it's crystal clear, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be nice. That resolution. Oh, yeah. Hey, Uncle Al, have you noticed how similar you look to that guy called Schlatt and Sound? I did not. I don't know. I don't know. I know who you're talking about. I don't know a whole lot about him though. I know he sang Frank Sinatra covers. I know that much. He's got a hell of a voice for it. I doubt anyone would be dialed in enough to know, but it sounds like DK's voice in Bananza is the usual voice actor, but his voice in Mario Kart World is from the movies dub. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I'm like, it sounds like I was specifically listening to that during the cutscene where like Donkey Kong is getting blown away by Voidco and he's like screaming through the air. Yeah, to me it sounds like the way Donkey Kong has for years and years and years. So I'm thinking that they I don't know if they are getting ready to replace him. Mario Kart World kind of suggests they might be, and it's possible that this guy just happened to record all of his stuff for Bananza before they made that decision. So, which is a shame because I just don't understand why Nintendo has to go out and replace all these people in general. I saw somebody with a really good theory that, like, when they revealed the voice cast for the Mario movie and they got so much backlash, it spooked Nintendo. And so they decided, okay, let's get rid of all the old heads, introduce a new cast to like zero fanfare. We're not even gonna name them. You can spot them in the credits, and you can play a guessing game as to who they voice. But yeah, they want you to think about the characters. They don't want you to think about the people behind it all. So that it stinks that that's the way Nintendo is, but that's just how they are. Cause man, yeah. Poor Charles Martinet, man. I feel like he should have been able to voice Mario to the end of time. I don't buy the narrative that he retired from Mario. He loves that character. He made the character. He made Mario what it is today. I'm just saying, man, like, it wouldn't be the same character without him creating the voice for Mario. And yeah, Nintendo didn't value that enough, I guess. They value the brand more than the people who helped to make it, you know? He got fired in the nicest way possible. Yeah, he did. Especially considering what they did to, oh my goodness, I can't think of her name. She was at Too Many Games this weekend, too, right next to Charles that lined up. The voice of Peach, Princess Peach and Toad, they very unceremoniously canned her, so very nice. Thanks, Nintendo. Anyway, that's a whole can of worms. He never retired. He's still voice acting. Yeah. Yep. Papi Al, since you just hit the big 50K, we need you to sing Frank Sinatra covers because you hit that milestone. You have the perfect voice for it. I'm not much of a singer. I'm more of a say funny things in funny ways kind of guy. Samantha Kelly, yeah, that was the actress. I couldn't think of her name. Brain was not working with me there. Here, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna sip some more coffee. It's cold now. It's totally cold. But that's okay. Cold coffee is good too. Well, if it's intended to be cold, I don't know. This is supposed to be warm, so I don't know. Anyway. What if you just burp my way? I probably could. That I probably could do. Ooh. Oh, Bananza. Ho, 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 ho. Bananza. Oh, yeah, the voice of Daisy, too. Yeah, Nintendo, they just wiping the whole slate clean. I don't know, man. It's disappointing to me. I think that it's disappointing more than anything that that's how, you know, that's how they're gonna treat the people who have voiced their characters for years. I mean, decades even. But that seems to be just how it goes when it comes to voice acting. You know, they don't have those kinds of protections or guarantees, which it's just a real shame. That's all. I don't want to keep yapping about that though. It's a depressing topic. Did you see the DK Isle shaped silhouette on the layer select screen? Yeah, I did. I'm thinking, man. I don't know. I don't know. I really do hope that there is a chance we get to explore DK Isle with the big Donkey Kong shaped head island thing. I think that would be great. But I will say, I believe the map of Mario Odyssey also had like an Isle Delfino landmass. And that was just kind of like a, you know, fun little Easter egg reference, nod, whatever, you know. So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case with DK Island, but I guess we'll see. Hey, Al, just wanted to say that your old banana shirt is very comfy. Also, they released a teaser for Grumpy Kong. Hey, thanks so much. Thanks for buying my merch. I appreciate it. Yeah, and yeah, I agree. The shirts are very comfy. Fourth Wall, they have really great quality stuff. I was happy to go with them. So, thank you. Land Clipper, $5 super chat. If you were an elder, what Bananza power would you bestow upon your good friend Donkey Kong? Very, very good question indeed. I'm gonna have to think about this one. I guess I would give him the power to belch. To really belch him out. So that way I can relate even more to the big monkey guy. We can be one and the same. We'll work together and belch our way to the planet's core. Thank you for the super chat, Land Clipper. Oh, I have Uncle Lore question. How did Uncle Al and Aunt Lalabloom meet? Ooh! We were in high school. We're high school sweethearts. We've been together since like I think it was our sophomore year of high school, like 10th grade, which was, gosh, it'll be 13 years ago, this year. Yeah. So, we've been together for a long time. Whoops. Just clinked my coffee mug against my mic. Hopefully that didn't just deafen all the headphone users out there. Void Kong hired by the Mankey Kong clan. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I have to look more into it. Somebody tagged me and the rest of the crew in like a big Bananza related thread, talking about, I think it's talking about our potential connection to Void Kong. If not being K. Rool, at the very least, utilizing like a transformation to be in the form that he's in. If you look at, there's like a vial, I think, that, or like, I don't know, like some kind of like key or something like that has Voidco's face on it. It's used on like all the different locks and stuff. And you can see little Bananzas, little bananas like poking off the sides of the little trinkets. And, like, off the top of its head and stuff, too. Almost as though it could be suggesting that, like, yeah, Void Kong actually is a little Bananza gremlin. And he's just, like, a transformed little dude. Because, like, you know, on all of Donkey Kong's Bananza transformations, he's got bananas sprouting off of him. And, like, maybe Void Kong is hiding his bananas with like his big bushy fur coat or something like that, and I don't know. Again, I gotta look more into it. I don't have enough details about that yet. I kind of just got like a very quick little abridged scoop about it. Interesting idea though. Could lean into that. Would you buy a Donkey Kong themed cereal like they did for Odyssey? Dude, I'd be all over that. I think that'd be all I eat. You guys would have to probably call for help. Go into a cereal coma. This isn't directed at you, Al. You've been great, but I'm worried how some hardcore DK fans will react if K. Rool isn't in, despite Nintendo maybe not even hinting him. I do think he's in, TBH. I've seen that sentiment being shared. That's not just you, like other people too. I've seen plenty of concerns about K. Rool's potential appearances. And, like, it is important to manage our expectations, like, at the end of the day. And, like, it's kind of a shame, because I also really do feel a bit of responsibility, to an extent, for potentially raising people's hopes about K. Rool and the Kremlings. I mean, obviously, it's been a big part of my channel here for the last, like, 2 months or so. But I do generally try to remind everybody that, like, look, it's just theorizing at the end of the day. It's just fun theories and ideas. There is a very real chance that K. Rool won't be in the game, and that's just gonna be how it is. But at the same time, even without my own personal, like, I don't know, my own personal real estate in the online conversation around K. Rool, like, I feel like even if I wasn't involved, people would still probably be looking at the footage and seeing, like, all these different Croc enemies and, like, different things like that, and, like, all the country references, and being like, hey, it feels like a logical conclusion to assume that there's a good chance K. Rool would be in the game. So, I don't know, I would almost have to point my finger at Nintendo a little bit, too, and be like, hey, why'd you guys do that if you weren't gonna put him in the game, Why include Crocs? If it is just a fun nod and that's all it is, that would be kind of disappointing, and I wouldn't blame people for being disappointed about that. I mean, to be honest with you, I will also be a little bit disappointed, because it feels like it is building to something. But that being said, it's not going to be enough to ruin the game for me. I hope that it's not enough to ruin the game. Like, it's not even going to come close to ruining the game, dude. I'm just happy we're getting a new Donkey Kong game after 11 years of not having a Donkey Kong game. Any Donkey Kong games, period. But I do hope that people are able to, like, just, set that aside, try to enjoy the game for what it is. But I will understand the disappointment, It will be a little bit... It'll be palpable, I will say, if he's not in this game, so... To be fair, Al, I do think there's some smoke for K. Rool. Did you hear that the VTuber singer is confirmed to be in? Is that official now? Is that an official confirmation? Because if that is... then yeah, that really is, like, well, hey, there it is, the Journey to the West connection. It's official, I saw some people, like, trying to dig and speculate about it the other day, but I don't know if there was ever any kind of, conclusion. People recorded Pauline singing in the demo, and they say it's the VTuber. Make of that what you will. Okay. Well, it's entirely possible then. Excuse me. There was a lot of, a lot of signs kind of pointing to that person, that something could be going on there. But I guess we'll see. Would you do a in remembrance video of coping for Kong just before Bananza comes out? I am thinking of doing something kind of along those lines, because... ultimately, I've been doing this for years now. I've been out here talking about Donkey Kong, talking about this fabled, mythical unicorn of a game. Got called all kinds of names, and got called a lunatic for years. Which, to be fair, it kind of did look that way a little bit. Hey, It's here. in the rumors we trusted. I trusted, like, DK Vine and specifically Heil, they were the ones who sort of broke the news that an internal DK game was being developed, and I trusted them. I didn't think they were just going to put that out there willy-nilly, you know. It would have just tanked his credibility, and, I mean, here it is, you know. So, I think it'd be fun to sort of reminisce a bit about just everything, excuse me, everything leading up to this point. Definitely could be fun. I'm actually kind of a little bit scared about what's going to happen after Bananza comes out. I mean, I'm still going to be here making videos, but I know a lot of people are here specifically to hear me talk about Bananza and Donkey Kong. And after Bananza is out, I'm just hoping it doesn't all go away, but I guess we'll see. I want to keep making stuff. I'll keep talking about Nintendo stuff, you know. It feels like a logical pivot after Bananza is here to just talk about Nintendo stuff in general. There's other things I'm looking forward to, like Metroid Prime and the new Kirby Air Ride, so I probably won't be able to go as super crazy in depth with the theorizing like I have been with Donkey Kong, because I'm just way more knowledgeable about Donkey Kong than those other ones, but I still enjoy the other games, so. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not too worried about it right now. I'm just kind of basking in the fun of the theorizing and speculating in our lead up to Bananza, so. I think the VTuber is only for singing voice for that song in the Bananza form montage. That could be. That very well could be. I want to know. I want to know about this. But I have a feeling we probably won't know until the game is here and they can, you know, talk about it openly. Uncle App Plus, I'll be interested in what the next 2D game will be made by. The same Bananza team or someone else? 2D or 3D Mario and Zelda are split, for example. Yep. I don't know. Definitely, I'm definitely curious myself. I'm really kind of hoping they lean more into what made Rare's DKC games so appealing. They might just go in a completely new direction for the 2D games, you know, like Nintendo does like to not be strapped down too much by what came before, but, you know, there was a certain sense of atmosphere and, like, I don't know how to put it, like, maybe just sort of, like, melancholy that was kind of lost from Rare's games going into Retro Studios. It felt like going from something a little more gritty, I guess, to, like, a Pixar movie with Retro's games. And that's not a knock against Retro's games, because I really like them, too. But, you know, I think I just prefer what Rare did with the games over Retro. At least in terms of atmosphere, you know what I mean? So, that, and I hope they can keep the series' signature difficulty intact if they are going to make a 2D Donkey Kong game internally, so. Bum 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 bam bam. I think the remakes of the original trilogy could be possible in the coming years. Would accompany the design update well. It's possible. I've talked about this before on stream and that kind of thing, but like I'm like really kind of wishy-washy about how I'd feel about them remaking the original games, just because you know, I just worry that there's such a strong appeal, there's such a unique appeal, is what I should say, from those original Donkey Kong Country games that I feel like would be totally lost by modernizing it, you know? The pre-rendered sprite style, you know, the old 3D graphical kind of look that just isn't a thing today, the plasticky kind of look that they have. And, like, I would just be afraid that, like, modernizing it would just make it look and feel like any other game. And then those would be the games that Nintendo would put front and center to represent the Donkey Kong Country games, you know? And I guess for some people that might not be a bad thing. I don't know. I don't want to see them get replaced, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, so. But, you know, sometimes that's just the way it is, you know? That's modern gaming for you, milking nostalgia and remaking things, and out with the old, in with the new, basically, you know? But there have been concepts that people have done. There's one channel in particular that remade Donkey Kong Country 2 levels in like a modern look, a modern style, and pretty much made the models look one-to-one with what they did in the Super Nintendo games. So if they really went that route and stuck as faithfully as they could to the Donkey Kong Country, like, at least look and general feel, maybe I could get behind it then. I would be excited for it and play it regardless, probably, you know, that's just, you know, the way it is, but, you know. Uncle Alejandro, where does the plus in your name come from? Explain to us, your lovely nieces and nephews. The plus I just added because this is a game channel. You know, actually, now that I think about it, there might be a lot of you guys out there who aren't even really familiar with my roots anymore, because this channel has kind of started to blossom into its own thing. But, I don't know, for those of you who aren't aware, you know, I have another channel, I guess, I wouldn't even call it my main channel anymore because I'm not really focused on it right now, but it's just called Uncle Al, and I made meme content over there, SpongeBob stuff, and, like, just voice impression kind of content. Yeah, that channel took off years ago, and I kind of ended up, like, sort of moving away from it a bit. But I made this channel years ago to kind of be like a companion channel to that. And so that's why it's called Uncle Al Plus. It's all about gaming, all that fun stuff, so I don't know if I'm, like, preaching to the choir here, you know, I feel like a lot of you guys probably are just familiar with my other stuff, but I feel like there's probably a handful of people that aren't, too, so. Nintendo heading out. Hey, thanks for hanging out, man, I appreciate you. Oh, so that's the other channel with the Adult Swim style PFP, yep. That was kind of the vibe of that channel over there. You love hearing the lore of Uncle Al. Yes. The lore runs deep. I wish I got distracted. That was my phone buzzed. I don't know what I was saying, but yes, the lore runs deep. Oh yes, an impressionist. I was one of the first YouTubers, and I did those quite a bit. Some of my videos are 20 years old. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy to think that YouTube has been around for that long. You knew me as the guy that would despair after every direct. I more so despaired before the directs, you know. I'd be like, all right, here we go, another direct without Donkey Kong. Luckily, I won't have to do that anymore going forward. I can enjoy them for what they are. I enjoyed them for what they were regardless, you know. If there were games that I was interested in, then I would be excited for them. And that's just how it was. It was just, yeah, it was a gimmick. It was just a fun little thing. Al, may I make a suggestion? Since you're more focused on this channel these days, maybe you should rebrand this one as Uncle Al and the older channel as Uncle Al Classic. That's a fun idea, honestly. I don't know. I feel like, you know, I've started to build up. Well, I mean, we're at 50,000 subscribers now here on this channel, so it's kind of like, I feel like if I change the name now, I don't know, it's losing maybe just a little bit of, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this. I feel like it'd maybe be losing a little bit of the recognition, just because, like, you know, lately, I mean, even other creators, you know, are making videos talking about some of my theories and stuff, and specifically calling out, or shouting out, Uncle Al Plus, you know? So people go looking for Uncle Al Plus, and then they can't find it. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm just overthinking this. That's something to think about, but that is a fun idea, though. Uncle Al Classic, and then calling that... Well, okay. The only thing about that, though, too, is that because I have over 200,000, actually closer to 300,000 subscribers on that channel, I lose my check mark if I rebrand, if I change the name of it, so that I probably won't be able to do that. And I'll just keep it Uncle Al Plus, you know. It is what it is. It's fine. Uncle Al 64. Who does the art for your thumbnails, avatar, etc.? I think he's here in the chat. I saw him typing earlier. That's my good pal Brantendo. He, yeah, Brantendo and I have been cooking up stuff for years together. He's done some of the thumbnails over on my other channel too. He just has this uncanny ability to, like, pull things out of my brain, you know. I'll, like, give him an idea, and then he brings it to life exactly how I want it to be. And so, yeah, he's super good at what he does. Super talented guy. I would definitely recommend hitting him up if you ever need any art stuff. Just joined. First time watching your streams. Well, hey, thanks, Watermellow. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for coming in here and hanging out with us. I'm just here. I'm just sitting here yapping. I'll probably go until, like, maybe the 2-hour mark. You know, that's about, like, 45 minutes from now. I didn't see anybody mention it earlier, or maybe you guys did. I don't know. I'll just throw this out there. I don't know how you guys feel about these streams where I just get on here and yap. I enjoy them quite a bit. It seems like you guys enjoy just kind of chatting with me, so I like doing them. I definitely don't mind doing more. I'd like to get some new stream assets, excuse me, eventually, where, like, I don't know, just like a better chat box and some other stuff. So, something to, like, spruce up the stream and that kind of thing. Maybe have some light background music. That's something to keep in mind for the future. Probably a good idea. I can definitely keep that in mind. I think I did do that in the past, and then I kind of forgot to keep doing it. Unc, what are your thoughts on the whole Platonic situation going on recently? I don't really have, like, a ton to add about that whole situation, but, you know, I think it is unfortunate, and my heart goes out to people who were laid off from Platonic games, because, you know, I really enjoyed Yooka-Laylee, despite it being, you know, an alright game. I know a lot of people thought it was pretty janky and not that great, but, you know, I was a Kickstarter backer for it. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and then the Impossible Lair I thought was phenomenal. That's a really good 2D platformer if you guys are looking for a good one. To fill that Donkey Kong Country shaped hole in your heart. And the Impossible Lair is really good. Not gonna lie, your whole Crockwatch thing has made me more interested in Bananza than I was before. Well, that's cool to hear. I'm glad to hear it. Nintendo needs to send me a check, because I think I'm doing more for their marketing than they're doing for themselves. So that's not entirely true. They don't need me, but I'm just saying. I'm probably getting a lot more people on board than they would have had otherwise. Just by sharing my own excitement, you know. Bum, ba, bum. Bum, ba, bum. Now your name is Coochie Kong? Oh, God. What's up with Platonic? Are they okay? They're one of your favorite teams. They had some layoffs. Recently, unfortunately. I guess that's kind of what happens if you don't release a game in like 6 years. I know they're kind of doing more publishing stuff now. They're getting together with like other indie developers and publishing their stuff, but you know, I personally have not really even checked out any of those games that they've published. I'm much more interested in what they can do themselves as a creative team. That was the whole reason I was interested in Platonic to begin with, you know. So it's disappointing that they've gone this long without releasing a new game, and then only for them to come back up with a remake of Yooka-Laylee. It seems like it's going to be fun. I'm very excited for it. I hope I even get to cover it, too. I tried to submit myself to be a part of their, like, creator, I don't know, program or something like that. I never heard anything back. I'm probably, I don't know, I might not be big enough for them to want to invest anything in, which is fine, whatever. Although, I don't know if just handing me a free game for me to advertise for them for free on the internet is a big investment, but I don't know. I guess it's the fear of the unknown, because I just kind of say however I feel about something. If I don't think it's good, I'm going to let you know, you know? And if I think it's good, then there it is, thumbs up. But I know a lot of those companies, they hand those games to fans who they think are going to say nice things about them. For me, it's just like, I don't know, I just say whatever I think and feel, so... Xbox are apparently going to have huge layoffs on Wednesday. I did hear about that. Yeah, that's a shame, too. Too crispy! Mr. Uncle Al, been loving your theory videos. I believe I have discovered the last 2 Bananza transformations. It would be an honor to hear your thoughts on my findings in my latest video. Yeah, we were talking about your video a little bit earlier in the stream, actually. It was a fun theory. It was very enjoyable watch. I'm kind of thinking, I feel like from a gameplay perspective, and like we talked about all of this, I don't know that a giraffe Bananza, like logically I see where you're coming from and I agree with it. But, like, from a gameplay perspective, I don't know that there's a ton of potential for a giraffe Bananza. I don't know. Maybe. Sorry, I'm, like, losing my train of thought. I'm, like, trying to think, but my brain is, like, dispersing into all the different directions. So, yeah, like, you know, I don't know. There... I guess it's hard to say. Like, we have the giraffe Bananza that you were talking about, and sorry, I'm like drawing such a blank right now. Give me 1 second. Let me sip some water. Let me get some hydration in my body. Okay. So what I was trying to say was, I don't know if I see like a ton of gameplay potential for, like, a giraffe Bananza, I guess. Like, I'm just having trouble imagining it. But at the same time, you know, we have something like an ostrich Bananza, and it flies. Ostriches don't fly in real life, so maybe they have something really creative in mind for, like, a giraffe Bananza or something like that. You know, maybe he, like, spins his neck around really fast, and he, like, takes off like a helicopter or something. We could drill into the ground. Somebody had a really interesting idea that, like, maybe it combines the idea of, like, a giraffe with snakes or something like that. Like, slither around or, like, slip into places that you wouldn't be able to get. But, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. I just don't know if I, like, can imagine the gameplay potential for that. And then, like, the elephant idea, too. You know, it's got the big ears. Sure. But, like, I feel like... you know, the most iconic part of I think this was a comment on your video, actually, that, like, the most iconic part of an elephant is its trunk. And, like, you know, none of those fractones seem to sport, like, a big elephant trunk in the game. So, I don't know. And me personally, I'm locking in on the idea that there's going to be like some sort of Kremling Bananza or something like that. So I feel like that's going to be at least one of the final transformations, and then like maybe some kind of underwater one too. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm just, we're all out here theorizing and spitballing right now, and like, there's a chance that none of what any of us are saying are going to come to pass. But it was a fun video though. It was a really fun theory. I liked where you were coming from with that. You go feral for Kremling Bananza? Yeah, I'm with you there too. I know. Presumably the final boss exclusive Bananza too for the finale. Yeah, that's true. Might be something like that. The very end, some kind of like big finale transformation. Maybe that's like only used for the finale, The great thing is, and I totally see Bananza being in the Game of the Year conversation, given the pedigree of the team making it, supposedly. Yeah, I agree with you there, too. I think it'll definitely be nominated. I don't know with certainty that it will win. Excuse me. Only because platformers typically in the past, when platformers have been nominated, they generally don't win. Last year, I think, was the first year that ever happened with Astrobot, which was well-deserved, I might add. That game was fantastic. I love Astrobot. But yeah, Bananza, solid chance for a Game of the Year nominee. Yeah, I see Sandbar mentioned it. I was going to get to that. I've heard a lot about this Expedition 33 game. I don't really know anything about it. I just hear that people are smitten by it, and it sounds like it's probably a very solid contender to take home the Game of the Year win, so. Gnarly Knave, $5 super chat! Thanks, man. Thanks, I appreciate it. Congrats on getting to 50K. Also, do you think Wario can get a game like Bananza in the future? Thanks for the super chat. Thanks for the congrats. I mean, it's because of you guys that we're here, so I appreciate it. And I hope that Wario gets a game kind of like Bananza in the future. I think it's time for Wario to get another big platformer adventure, whether that's a new Wario Land or like a new Wario World or something like that. I want a new Wario platformer. That's what I want. That's where I'm that's what I'm replacing my cope-shaped hole with after Bananza releases. I'll be out here like, "Hey, when are we getting that Wario Land?" Okay, maybe I won't be quite so annoying about it as I have been with Donkey Kong for the last couple of years, but I definitely want another Wario game. To tell you the truth, okay, well, I grew up playing Wario World. I had that on the GameCube as a kid, loved that game, but it really wasn't until the last, like, 2.5 years that I got really into the Wario Land games, too. And I think I played through all of them. Question mark? No, not all of them. I didn't play the Virtual Boy one, because I don't really have any way to play it, and I haven't played Wario Land Shake It, which I want to, because it looks so nice. I love the visuals. Very, very nice hand-drawn animation. But yeah, and it was because of Pizza Tower. Pizza Tower got me into the Wario Land games. I love Pizza Tower. That game is so fantastic, and I thought, okay, I want to go experience the games that inspired this one. And man, yeah, those Wario Land games are fantastic. I never thought that they would be as much fun as they were. I had a blast with them, so. If the Pizza Tower devs made a Wario game, what would your reaction be? I would be all over it. Man, I hope it's probably not likely Nintendo would do that, but man, I'd be there day one. That would be my next fixation. I think that would be perfect. Unlike DK, Wario's games usually don't sell like hotcakes, and the studio that made all of the land games, minus Shake It, doesn't exist now. Same reason 2D Metroid went away for a while. Yeah, I know, it's disappointing. Well, it's a big reason that Donkey Kong hasn't had a game in a long time, too, because there hasn't really been a consistent home to, like, put Donkey Kong in. It was only because of a desire to bring Donkey Kong back as, like, a major pillar for Nintendo that they were able to form a team. But, you know, it takes a long time to put together a good team that can handle like big projects like that. So that's a big part of why it's taken so long to get a new DK game. And I fully believe that was the case with Metroid as well. You know, they got Mercury Steam to do the Samus Returns remake, and I think that was more like training for them. That was like the training wheels to put them onto a new Metroid game, and so we got Metroid Dread. And I feel like you could probably see that with some of the other games that Nintendo has done over the last couple of years. I feel like a couple of them might be coming up with some new games here before long. Unfortunately, Wario hasn't had something like that yet. We got 2 WarioWare games on the Switch, and they were alright. I don't mean to, like, bash WarioWare, but they were kind of short and not like, I don't know, not something that I felt super compelled to just continue to replay. Maybe other people feel differently about that, I don't know, but I didn't play them for very long. Excuse me. New platformer, though, I'd be all over that. People like to argue that Nintendo has all their platformers. They have too many platformers. They got Mario, Kirby, Yoshi, you know. We don't need other ones. But I disagree. I think the more platformers, the merrier. That's Nintendo's, like, bread and butter. Yeah, the next Metroid next year, Dread, was the sold the best and was extremely well received. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Mercury Steam is currently cooking up another Metroid. I think it's gonna happen too. Please, Lord Almighty, please let K. Rool be in this good DK game. I'm with you there. I know. Here I go again. Standing up on my croc box to talk about the croc. But, you know, for a game that's meant to reintroduce the world to the Donkey Kong brand and, like, really just solidify the staple elements of the brand and everything moving forward, I just really hope K. Rool is in this game for that specific reason. You know, I want to make sure that he is safe. I want to make sure that he has a future. So, hopefully it happens. Hopefully it happens. Hey, I'm going to take a brief intermission here just to quickly mention that, you know, if you guys are interested in helping to support the channel further and, you know, make it a little more of like a stable thing for me to continue to get out here and yap about games and make videos and all that kind of stuff, I do have a Patreon, and it's a huge help. You know, I've seen a couple of my patrons here in the chat. I appreciate you guys. It really just helps out the channel. It helps with some of the costs like thumbnails and equipment and all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, if you're interested, link in the description below. I just wanted to throw that out there quick, but you know, I appreciate you guys just being here. You know, yeah, and there was something I saw. Hope he makes a big entrance. Yeah, I know. I'm with you there. Yeah, and it would be so insanely cathartic. I know. I'm with you there, too. I really do think that bringing him back, bringing the Croc back, it would be just a huge moment. It would be a huge moment for us in our little Kong community, you know? I feel like more people want him back than not. I know, like, the chatter around K. Rool has kind of swallowed up a lot of the online conversation around this game. And so I know that people are starting to get annoyed with it. I've seen people being like, I don't even want K. Rool in the game now. And, like, yeah, I can understand to an extent. But, you know, you gotta understand where fans like us are coming from, you know? Here's a character that we feel is beloved. He is beloved, you know? You know, a bunch of people, a bunch of crazies like myself spam voted to bring him into Super Smash Brothers, and he got in because of just how popular he is. And, you know, so it would be just a huge missed opportunity for Nintendo if they decide not to include him in this game. I think it would only help the game. There's, you know, Smash Ultimate has been the biggest selling fighting game of all time now, and it features the Croc front and center. He was one of the most popular reveals for the game. So more people than ever know who he is. More people than ever are probably going to go into this game not even having any idea about any of the online conversation around it, and thinking to themselves that, yeah, it's just a given that King K. Rool will be in it. They presented him as Donkey Kong's rival in Super Smash Bros., his main rival. So yes, when you play a Mario game, you expect to see Bowser, you know? I feel like that's how it should be with Donkey Kong, but I don't know. We'll see. I hope Nintendo's just pulling a funny little thing with the marketing, where, you know, like K. Rool's whole thing is being a little trickster, a little sneaky fella, and so it'd be really cool if they're also extending that to the marketing, where they're just not like showing him in the game at all. There's plenty to show about the game without also blowing their load and spoiling King K. Rool for the super hardcore fans like us, you know? It's like, would King K. Rool actually benefit the marketing of this game to the public if they just came out and blew their load on it, you know? Probably not. That's my personal opinion on it. It's gonna be the super hardcore Donkey Kong fans who are gonna buy this game and play it regardless that want to see King K. Rool. So they don't need to come out and spoil that element of the game if he is in the game beforehand, you know what I mean? I don't know, that's my 2 cents. I say it every time. It's totally possible he might just not be in the game. But I'm still thinking he might be. Hey, Warden! I see you there. Thank you for the super chat. Coping forever. Please, Nintendo. Yep. We're all here coping together. That's what we do. That's what we do around here. Some people still idiotically say Nintendo hate Rare and their stuff. Yeah, I don't think that was ever the case. I don't think it's that, like, Nintendo hates them. It's more so just that, like, I mean, it's partially, like, the culture, you know, in Japan, that, like, they don't want to feel strapped down by old stuff. But in my opinion, too, it's also just, like, I feel like it's just kind of, like, a creative aspect of it, you know, that, like, creatives don't want to feel tied down by other people's work and feel beholden to it. So, yeah, they haven't used Rare stuff and the Kremlings and all that kind of stuff in a long time. But, you know, there are certain aspects of games and franchises that are kind of just, I don't know, feels like they probably should be involved to some degree. And I think Nintendo is realizing that now, because Bananza is just absolutely basking in Rare's era with tons of nods and references, but it's also doing completely brand new stuff too, which I'm loving. Hey, Mad Dog Steven, $2 super chat. Are you embracing your inner monkey, Al? Oh yeah, on the inside and out. You got it, man. Thanks for the super chat. I'm gonna finish up this cold coffee. Let's get it. Give me 1 sec. I didn't like that. Cold coffee is just... Ugh, yeah. Yeah. I like it hot. With the country stuff, I've got a good feeling there's going to be more rare things in the store. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Definitely with you there. And you know, like, here's the thing, man, you know, how are they gonna make all these nods and references specifically to Rare's Donkey Kong Country? Like, there's been barely anything for Retro Studios. We think that there might be a Professor Chops fossil, and like that's it. How are they gonna have all these references to Rare's era and not include arguably one of the biggest parts of it in K. Rool and the Kremlings? K. Rool is the third pillar character in the series, you know. He's the third character to represent the Donkey Kong brand in Super Smash Brothers. So, I'm just saying, how they gonna not do that? I'm just saying. Mad Dog Steven, $5 super chat. This is my apology for not being on the Patreon anymore. Hey man, you don't gotta be sorry. I understand how it is. You know, you don't love me. I get it. Don't worry about it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I understand, man. Hey, you know, financially the world is in a tough spot. I can totally understand if you can't, you know, stick around on the Patreon and you know, continue to support monthly and all that kind of stuff. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. You being here in the chat is you supporting the stream, the channel. So I appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks for the super chat as well. Toonwork, 99 cents super chat. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. All of you out there. Al, become one of us. Become the VTuber. I'm a funny little PNG guy. Does that kind of count? To be honest, like, I did have an idea here recently, and I don't even know how this would work because I don't know anything about VTubing. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about any of that. But I think it would be really cool to get, like, a Silicon Graphics 3D modeled version of my little, like, gorilla character and turn that into, like, a VTuber or something like that. But excuse me. Sorry. I don't know. I don't know. Because that probably wouldn't be a cheap thing. And I'm not so... Yeah, like the country art style. Yep, just like that. Oh. Oh. Finances suck, though. I do miss you saying my government legal name at the end of your video. I would just take, you know, the names that would show up for me in the Patreon, and that's what I would put in. So sorry if you didn't want that out there. That's just the name that Patreon showed me. So ba-doop-ba, boop, ba-doop-ba. Turn into a VTuber, he says, as his monkey avatar parrots his movements. Vinch, $2 super chat. Would not mind DKC trilogy. Ugh, wow, I can't speak. Would not mind DKC trilogy remake. TBH, would you? We were just talking about this a little bit ago. That like, I would feel weird. Not weird. That's not the word I'm looking for. Sorry, I was reading the chat and, like, my brain stopped functioning. I feel like there's such a unique... The original games, the original trilogy, have just, like, such a unique look and feel to them that I don't feel like would be able to be easily replicated if they just remade the games in a modern style. Like, sure, they could try to do it as one-to-one as possible, like, you know, trying their best to model on par, on point with what Rare did back in the day, you know, make them look just like they used to. But I feel like it's gonna lose just a bit of that charm. It's gonna lose kind of, that, I don't know, that sort of uniqueness. And not that I would be, like, opposed to seeing what they could do with a remake, but it's more just the fact that, like, well, then those games would be the ones that would be peddled, like, front and center for the Donkey Kong Country games and series, and, I don't know how I would feel about that. Like, those original games I just hold so very dearly to me that I think it would be a shame to see Nintendo, like, sweep them under the rug and be like, here, look, these are the definitive ways to play the Donkey Kong Country games, you know? So I don't know. I guess that's just kind of the way gaming is going, though, these days. You know, they remake games and milk nostalgia, and that's just the way that it is. So, something to get used to. I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, thanks for the super chat, Vince. I appreciate you. That 90s Rareware charm that can only come from the 90s and come from Rareware? yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what I'm saying. I wouldn't want a modern-looking remaster, but if they use the actual 3D models they made the pixel art out of, it would be cool to see. Nothing will beat the originals, though, I feel. Yeah, I'm pretty much right there with you. That's kind of basically what I'm saying. Like, if they really went as authentic as possible with, like, remaking it, like, straight down to, like, the way that the models looked, the way they had, like, a plasticky kind of sheen to them, that 90s kind of old school 3D rendered aesthetic, that'd be one thing. But I don't think they would do that, is the thing. I think they would probably have a whole different kind of appeal if they brought them back and remastered them for the modern day. And, you know, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know if I would be on board with it. But I'd have to see it. But then it would be real, and then I would have to, like, navigate my feelings about how I, if I actually like what I'm seeing or not, you know? So, I don't know. Maybe we just keep it the way it is. Maybe they just make a new Donkey Kong game and then have that be it. You look at it the same way Crash was brought back through the Insane trilogy and went off to make a sequel after the fact. Yeah. I guess the difference is, though, that, like, you know, Nintendo doesn't, you know, that was more Activision testing the waters to see if Crash would do well in the modern day. And I don't think Nintendo needs that kind of thing, you know. Jen! $5 super chat, thank you! I remember when I got my original Switch, I played DKC1 all the time with my dad. We even did a race to see who could beat it first. Oh, that's cool. That's fun. Excuse me. That's funny, because, like, yeah, I played the OG DKC1 on the Super Nintendo with my dad. I was a little too young to be any good at it, but I watched him play it a lot, and it was always fun. If they remade the country games, it would look like the new Super game. This might be blasphemy, what I'm about to say. I don't know. But I think that's just kind of the way that Returns and Tropical Freeze sort of are. They kind of just are the new Super Mario Bros. Games of Donkey Kong. You know? They feel like hyper squeaky clean and sanitized to fit like a certain brand mold for like marketing purposes. I'm not trying to like knock those games. I always have to specify. I love Retro's Donkey Kong games. They're super good. It's just, you know, they miss a little bit of like the grit, I guess. They feel too sanitized in my opinion. Gnarly Knave, $2 super chat. I really hope Candy Kong makes a comeback. Yeah, I hope so too. I was talking about that a little bit earlier. I kind of feel like Poppy Kong feels sort of along the lines of like what they could do with a modern version of Candy Kong, especially in her face. I can really just, I feel like I see Candy Kong in her face. Like, they could just like transpose her face onto Candy Kong's old model and then have that be Candy or something, you know? Thank you for the super chat. Nah, Tropical Freeze is too creative and emotive. Returns, absolutely, though. That game is super bland to me. Yeah, I mean, like, Tropical Freeze definitely was a major step up from Returns. Don't get me wrong. Like, it does so much more. It does so much better than Returns did. Returns was absolutely just like, okay, we're stripping the DK series down to, like, its barest elements. And, that's where that game ended up. But Tropical Freeze definitely carved out its own identity. I will say that. I guess, like, it still kind of, like, expands upon, in a way, what they did with Returns in terms of its art style and, like, that kind of thing is sort of what I'm talking about. It feels like a Pixar movie, which is that's not a bad thing. It's just a different way to go than what Rare's games did, you know what I mean? So, did any of Cranky's dialogue change or alter in the demo? Not that I could see, but I definitely got sold on. I'm like locked in on the direction now that, like, I don't think Cranky Kong was talking about Void Kong in his dialogue. I don't think that's what he was talking about, Void Co. Excuse me, because Void Co. are referred to as a collective in, like, all the marketing and all the material and all that kind of stuff. I feel like he would be talking about them specifically, or, yeah, Cranky would be talking about them as a collective. But no, he's just talking about, like, a single person, a single entity who came along and stole the bananas, stole the banana horde, and now he's on this quest underground to try to track down whoever it is. And I feel like if he was talking about Void Kong or Void Co., like, even if he didn't know who, you know, like, if he didn't know them by name, I guess I should say, I don't see why he wouldn't be more descriptive about it. Like, he was just super vague. It's just super vague wording. It's almost like they want us to not know who Cranky is talking about just yet. And obviously, like, myself and the rest of the internet have leaned into the logical conclusion that maybe he's talking about King K. Rool. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Harry Major Productions, $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. What if the Kongs were brainwashed bosses in Returns? Oh, wait. Oh, you mean like if they were brainwashed bosses in Bananza, like how there were enemies brainwashed in Returns? Is that kind of what you're saying? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Thank you for the super chat. Sorry, I don't have, like, a good answer for that. I'm not quite sure. You thought the merch said Kong water, like bong water? Nah, well, that's a fun idea for some merch. How about that? Again, we'll get an Uncle Al branded bong. Oh, man. Al, earlier you said there was no evidence of a trunk for an elephant level, but there's a screenshot that depicts a bunch of elephant statues with trunks and tusks. Well, maybe I'm thinking a different layer then. You know, maybe it's something else. Maybe it's something I haven't seen yet. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I will say, though, it does seem like there's the layers where you get the transformations also include, like, actual animal NPCs. And we haven't seen any elephant NPCs yet in this game. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean there needs to be a correlation there, but I'm just saying there's a track record so far. Ostrich layer, there's ostriches, and you get the ostrich bonanza. The Kong layer, there's Kongs and monkeys and stuff. You get the Kong bonanza. I think that's in the lagoon layer, probably. And then, what's the other one? Oh, yeah, the zebras, same deal, you know what I mean? So, Lamb Clip at $5 super chat. King K. Rool will wish for the ultimate transformation to defeat DK, and thus Donkey Croc is born. I talked about this recently on stream, but I think it would be cool as fuck. It would be the coolest fucking thing and just absolutely amazing. If Donkey Kong gets a Kremling transformation, then K. Rool turns into a Kong, and then you guys duke it out like that. That would be really amazing. That would be the hypest shit ever. Thank you for the super chat, Land Clipper. Harrymation Productions, $10 super chat. Thank you. I mean, as boss fight in DKC returns, that DK has to fight and free from the Tiki tribe. You know, that would have been a really fun way to incorporate the other Kongs, as if they actually, like, were brainwashed bosses. Yeah, I don't know what it was about. I guess, you know, Retro just kind of wanted to do their own thing, and that's what I chalk it up to, but I think it would have been neat if they had really leaned into what had come before, you know, at least in certain aspects. Because it's like, on one hand, it wanted to be like Rare's games, but it also stripped away so much about what made them Rare's games. That's why Tropical Freeze has a much more confident and clear identity than Returns, you know what I mean? So, thank you for the super chat. Oh, we're at the 2-hour mark. That was actually where I said I was going to stop it. I'll go for like a couple more minutes. We'll go for a couple more minutes. So if you guys have any last minute super chats and questions and stuff that you want to get in, you know, now's the time to do it. But otherwise, I appreciate you all for being here and, you know, send them on in. We'll go for, let's go for like 5 more minutes, okay? We'll go for like 5 more minutes. Mad Dog Steven, $5 super chat. Diddy is back. Oh god, here we go. Diddy is back. I love his design. You could tell he's been touched up, but he's still our boy. I know. Isn't that just the best? Thoughts on Diddy Kong as a character? Well, you know, you can tell he's been touched up. He's been gone for a while. Don't really have any it's speculations on that. I don't know. I love Diddy. I wish that, oh god. That was the worst string of words I could have ever said out loud. I love Diddy Kong. I love Diddy Kong. Good lord. It's just a shame that Nintendo, I don't know, has just kind of turned him into like a power-up more than anything. He's like totally on the sidelines. I love Diddy, Charlie! I love Diddy! Hey, whoa, Pip. Probably should be shout that at the top of your lungs. Man, how do you make the same mistake twice? I'm not thinking about it like that. That's why. The internet does what the internet does. I don't think about P. Diddy when I'm talking about Diddy Kong, you know? I barely know anything about P. Diddy other than that he's a freaky guy. In my mind, Diddy is Diddy Kong, you know? Anyway, yeah, so I like Diddy Kong a lot. He's cool. I hope he can get the chance to have his own game again someday. I think it would be really awesome to get, like, you know, this Donkey Kong Bananza is Donkey Kong's game, and then I think it would be so cool if the next 2D Donkey Kong game was centered around, like, Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong again, or something like that, you know? That would be really awesome. So, Harrymations, $5 super chat. What if DK had a Koopa Bonanza? Hey, you never know, you know? They're all a part of the same world. So, hey, you know, I don't know. I don't think it's super likely, though. I pray that we eventually get Diddy Kong Racing on NSO. Just not now. Don't have Twitter ruin it with their P. Diddy goofs and gaffs. There's really, like, no way around that, I don't think. That's the way it's gonna be for a while with Diddy Kong. But yeah, I'm with you, though. I really wish Diddy Kong Racing was on NSO as well. I want to play through that game again. I might do it on stream sometime. That was such a blast to 100%, like 2-3 years ago whenever I did. It was one of those. I want Diddy Kong Racing on NSO way more than I want DK64 on there. I'll put it that way. I don't know if I mentioned it. I think I probably did, maybe. But hey, we hit that second super chat goal, so thanks so much, guys. You guys are on a roll today with that. That's so awesome. I appreciate you guys, because it really does. It supports the stream, it supports the channel. This has by far been, like, the biggest month for, you know, my game channel here. I'm anticipating a pretty steep drop-off after Bananza comes out. But hopefully, it'll still be a sustainable thing for me, so we'll see. Hoping for a Diddy Kong Racing sequel. I know, like, let me tell you, it does feel like we're entering a new era with Donkey Kong, where Nintendo, hopefully, is going to start pushing more DK content, games, and all that kind of stuff. So spin-offs feel like a natural extension of, you know, that. And I think, like, a new Diddy Kong Racing would be just an absolute amazing way to, you know, keep going along. So, you know, putting out new games. We got about another minute. About another minute, so just saying, throwing it out there. If you guys, you know, you got any other things to add, now's the time to send them. I'll try to read as much as I can before the next minute is up. Gnarly Nave, $2 super chat. What if the post-game layer was the banana horde? They're, you know, with all the bananas that have been stolen, I mean, that's what Cranky's after. There probably is going to be a shitload of the bananas in that final layer. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Thank you for the super chat. Coochie Kong layer. Yeah, there we go. I hope that if K. Rool is in the game, the second he is revealed, Donkey Kong locks in and gets pissed at the mere sight of him again, leading to an intense final battle. Bitter rivals. I'm with you there, actually. I'm pretty much with you there, because Donkey Kong's main objective in this game is going for the bananas, and, like, that's just what he wants. Pauline has more of, like, the story angle for her, like, arc, I guess. And it would be cool to just, like, up the stakes a bit for Donkey Kong if his longtime rival, who he hasn't seen in over, like, 20 years, comes back into the fray. And then Donkey Kong has to lock in, and then it's actually like, okay, yeah, now there's some serious business, you know? So, yeah, that'd be cool. Harry Mations Productions, $5 super chat, thank you. What if DK had a Poochie Bananza? Yeah, then he could sniff out bananas. That could actually be, hey, that could actually be a great use for a Bananza power, to sniff out all kinds of secrets and goodies, you know? Not bad. Not a bad idea. Thank you for the super chat. Matt, $5 super chat. I don't think K. Rool has any connection to Voidco, but is some ancient evil unleashed at the core that becomes a problem for DK and Voidco. It's possible. I'm kind of leaning towards he is involved with them to some extent. I just don't know what it is yet. And who knows, maybe he's not. Maybe I'm just way off the mark. But that's my little dose of speculation for you. Okay, guys. Oh, this was fun. Guys, I just want to thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Thanks for helping me get to 50,000 subscribers on this channel. It feels like it's been a long time coming. I'm so glad. I can't tell you guys how thrilled I have been just these past 2 or 3 months. Since the beginning of April. I guess it's almost been 3 months. That this is just what I get to do now. It's what I've wanted for, like, literally since I started my YouTube journey. Is to be able to get out here and yap about games. I wasn't very good at it before, so I didn't really make too much headway. It wasn't until Donkey Kong came back that things really started to take off for me here. And I feel like I've found a groove that's working for me. I feel like it's been working to, I don't know, keep people engaged, and it's a lot of fun. So, and again, it's all because of you guys. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to be here for a long time to come. Hopefully we'll get 50,000 more eventually. I get that mythical silver play button. That'd be really cool. Bananza. Little over 2 weeks away. We're almost there. So, alright guys. I'm going to go ahead and tap on out of here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the super chats today. It's been awesome. I'm not sure what I'll be back with. Might stream again later this week. Maybe I'll stream some more community Mario Kart. That's always fun. That was a fun time, so maybe we'll do that later later this week or something. Alright guys. Catch you in the next one. Bye-bye. It's not going to the outro. Well, once there was a blind man. His name was Old Blind Jim.